Word. What up, man?
How you doing, sir?
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
You too, man. Welcome to Nashville.
Yep, this is my first time really getting out into Nashville. I came once when I was younger, and then I had track meet here 2 years ago, but I didn't really get out
You were
much.
supposed to come for the Drake concert.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Did they reschedule that?
They rescheduled it February the 7th.
All right.
In the middle of the week, though. It's a Wednesday. I was
What?
supposed to have a Sunday.
Actually, I think I might have seen Drake on a Wednesday here. It's a weird thing to do because like he's got Friday night and Saturday night music.
Yeah, I don't know why he scheduled it, but I mean, if I ever get Drake on the pod, we'll sit down and talk about it. But yeah, I'm trying to sell the tickets now. So
Wait, really?
yeah, I mean, I can't go. It's in the season, middle of the week.
Oh,
Track season. So I was like, it's not happening.
Hey, man, it might be rough just skipping one. I'm kidding. Don't do that.
I'm like, Coach, it's Drake, man. And that was J. Cole instead of 21 Savage, and I'd rather see J. Cole anyway.
Which is not better, but like that's a concert right there, man.
That is a concert. But I've only been to 2 concerts. First one was Maverick City.
Really, Maverick
Kirk
City.
Franklin.
Was that here?
No, that was in Birmingham.
Okay.
Second concert were you guys, which is wild because that was the first time I ever met you in person.
Yeah.
You're my cousin. I realized this though. Our grandfathers are brothers. That's the connection.
Is that what it is?
That is the connection.
Got it. I didn't even question it. I was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Like, we're cousins.
I don't have a clue what I'm saying. Anyway,
Yeah.
glad to have you on.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Stuck in My Thoughts. If you are a returner, I know it's been a while. It's been since August since we've done a podcast where we're here for season 3. If you are new to the show, welcome. I'm the host, Justin Stuckey, and I'm here with my cousin. This is the first ever family episode, also non-athlete episode, Tyrone Carreker. Thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, so
Actual cousins, not just,
Yeah, no. This
I
is
saw
like
him 5 times and now we're related.
Yeah, no. We've only met each other in person once, but I've known you for a long time, just through Mike and Melanie, actually just like social media type thing.
Yeah.
And then I reached out that one time, I was like, I'm going to support my family. I didn't really know. I was like, oh, he plays guitar. What does he do? So I thought it was cool this summer when I went with my boy Devin down there to Gulf Shores.
Yeah.
Devin's wild one. Got to go to Gulf Shores and see you guys in action. That was my second concert, first ever country concert. That was fun, man.
Yeah, man.
That was a time.
Yeah. I didn't know. Was that Devin's first concert?
Yeah, that was his first concert.
It's so funny. I think my first concert was at like 22 or 23, and you just assume that people have been going to concerts their whole lives.
Yeah.
Just because, like, when I was younger, I wasn't really allowed to go to concerts. So, but for it to be your first, or to be his first and your second, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was allowed to go to a concert, it would have been Maverick City or Kirk Franklin, because like, that's,
That's all you could go to, yeah.
That's all you could go to, like-
you get some good word from there, though.
Yeah.
So, the Outskirts tour, like, you guys just finished up. You're going to go on this, basically the second stint coming into the next year. What is the tour life like? You're going days on end, city to city. What is that like for you?
It's interesting. Just this past year, we started to make it a point to go see things. So we went to several museums, whether we were in Missouri or Oklahoma. We went to an amusement park, which Six Flags, I think, was the one over Georgia. We went there. So we try to keep it fun. Like, you kind of work about maybe 3-4 hours that day, and the rest of it's kind of just sitting around.
Yeah.
So we kind of have our routines. We get up in the morning, we'll go get breakfast, and then we'll go work out. We'll come back, do sound check, and then hang out into the show. Or in between that, sometimes we'll go, like I said, to a museum or do something that the city itself offers.
Yeah.
So, but touring is wild, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's really the way that I keep up with all my friends. I've got friends in Columbus, friends in Texas. I got family in California. So my cousin, I don't know if you know Stuart, he's in Florida. So I try to keep up with everybody. So
while you're in town.
Yeah. So if that didn't answer your question, let me know. But
Yeah, that's what's up. When I was at the concert, I'm seeing so many different moving parts. You got the lighting, you got the stage setup, you got you guys going at different routines, you got the guitar, and then my boy Burke finishing out.
Yeah.
Burke is tough, man. I like him. He's doing his thing out there.
Burke is a personality, man. Like he definitely is in a lot of ways the life of the camp. I mean, the guy you see on stage is the guy that we get to see on the bus, just like really magnetic, and he's got an energy about him that's just like very, very positive all the time. Like he wants to make you happy. So anyway, Burke is a personality.
That's what's up.
We love that guy.
How long does it take to prepare for a tour? Like as far as practicing and figuring out what songs you want to put in. Do you guys switch songs when it comes to what you do at each concert? Or how does it go? You just run the same set?
You know, I think a lot of work happens outside of us. We take a while I think this past year, I think we might have worked for months leading up to the tour in terms of like getting the set list down and then getting the transitions down and what we want to do in that. But our work doesn't really compare to the guys that are doing the lights and like setting up stage and figuring out stage plots. So on my end, it's a good amount of work, but a lot of the work goes to the crew. So I can't even say how much time that they put in, but if it's double what we put in, which it probably is, then it's a lot of time.
Shout out to our people behind the scenes, putting a lot of work. Got Davey in the background of this podcast. Shout out to Davey. So you got your start, Detroit. That's where you began your life. Talk about that upbringing and coming from there, and how did you get into the music industry in general?
I mean, truthfully, I just went for it. Now, my mom went to Michigan State for music, and she sang. So, gosh, every morning at 4 a.m. growing up, she was singing loudly in the basement. So music was kind of just like I didn't have a choice. But then I actually wanted to play basketball after high school. So I played bass all through high school and middle school. And then I was like, well, let me just try to play basketball. And I kind of put music down for a second. But then I picked up guitar again at 22. And I don't know, something about it just connected with me. Yeah, you said this earlier before camera, but you said that you were looking on ESPN and you were like, I can do that.
Yeah.
And there's just something about that light bulb that goes off that makes you go, oh, that I can do.
Yeah.
And I just felt that when I picked up guitar at 22. I was watching John Mayer concert that he did in Birmingham.
Hey, that boy is tough.
He's tough. And I looked at him and I went, I can do that. I mean, that's kind of what I thought. I saw him and I saw his band guys and I was like, I can do that. I don't know how good I would be, but in terms of like being able to construct something musically and play for people, like that I felt that I could do. I really connected with the idea. And so I picked it up at 22 and moved to Nashville at 24. My parents hated that decision, but that might come back to haunt me one day, you know? But yeah, it was just one of the things that like, when I connected with it, onward and upward.
That's what's up. What would you say to the people who are maybe on the fence about taking a chance in general? You talked about how you saw John Mayer and you're like, man, I can do that. Let me just go try, whether you succeed or whether you fail. What would you say to people who are on the fence about trying something new?
Do it. Do it. I mean, that's, I wish it was more complex than that, but it isn't. I mean, so I kind of did the math when I got to Nashville and I was like, all right, I've been playing music my whole life, but I've been playing guitar. That's just a very new instrument. And also, I don't really know country music that well. But I was like, all right, just in general, I know that if I move down, I've beaten, let's say, 85% of people who play music. Just by moving to the city where music is, So like, say you're an actor. If you move to LA, well, you've beaten 85% of your competition. And then I was like, all right, cool. So all these guys have been playing guitar since they were 15, and they probably played after school 2 hours a day, let's say max, right? They got to do homework, they're playing sports, whatever. It's like, all right, well then if I play 6 to 8 hours a day, and I do the math on that, I might catch them. Out of all these they put in, I'll probably catch them in a year and a half, right? If I just keep doubling that time. And I was like, so in terms of me being even in these guys' class, it's going to be a while, but I have, I want to do this, so a year and a half, 2 years is nothing. And then I was like, all right, that being said, everybody that moves down with me if we were to beat the 85%, that's 15% of people. And I was like, half those are going to leave in a year. Half. And like, that happened. So now you're fighting with the 7%. And the 7%, the way that you get past that is that, like, first of all, you got to outlast them. So they're probably going to give up in the next 3 years. So what are you doing with the next 3-4%? And after that, if you do it every single day, you're going to be in the position to be successful.
The one percenters.
Now, there's a lot of decision making in there, but like the one percenters seem like, oh, you're the one percenter, but it's like, no. Like I said, just moving kills 85% of that. You know, so just starting and moving forward. Like, you know, I have several different ventures now, but what I'm realizing is that it is about how you do it, but what's most important is that you do it, because doing it is getting past the majority of your competition. Because the majority of competition won't get up and actually do it. Get up every day like you started a podcast, right? There's a lot of podcasts right now. If you looked at them right now, next year, probably half that list is gone. That's a new half. But the point is, your class, as you go up, people are going to stop. And pretty soon it's you.
Yeah.
So
that's that
honestly,
Kobe mindset right there. That's that.
Yeah.
You ever seen how he was talking about just like going to the gym and like 3 times a day? That's how he was doing the math. He was like, I get up at 4, go work out, go eat, come back to the gym, get a workout in, go home, relax, go back to the gym later.
Dude.
And you're like, you're just beating the competition like that. So I like how you put it out
you're
there.
just like, what did he say? He said, once I've gotten to a point, you can't catch up because I put in so many hours. I actually looked at his work ethic and applied it to myself playing guitar. And I was like, all right, I know I'm behind. That's just for sure. I mean, I have like a little dexterity from playing bass.
Yeah.
But I was like, I know that on some level right now I'm behind. How do I catch up? Okay, cool. Then you do 2 hours before, because I had to substitute teach. So you do 2 hours before school, and then you play your lunch break. They give you another hour. If you come home and you play 2 hours, go work out, come back and play another hour, you've gotten in 7 hours that day of playing guitar. And if you keep that up, I mean, what is that? That's just on a regular work week, that's 49 hours. You know?
Yeah.
Like, so you can see how that, and if somebody else is doing it 2 hours a day, an hour a day, my gosh, I'm going to catch you. So anyway.
You said you substitute taught?
I did everything, man, yeah.
So talk about that. You moved down to Nashville, 24. You said your parents weren't too big of fans of that.
No.
How's that process once you get to a city that you're unfamiliar with? You're picking up an instrument that you're not really familiar with as well. Where do you go once you land here?
I don't know. It's, what are you, 23?
23.
23. It's just a part of being young, man. Like, that's just a time where you can go out and meet people and make friends, and like the possibility of something not happening at that age is not really a thought. So, but you asked me how do I do it? I mean, I came down, and I think I knew one family out in Nolensville from Detroit, and so they had a church here. But for the most part, just got here. Oh, I had a friend, Hubert Payne. He plays drums for Little Big Time now. And I think I met him probably my first 6 months in town. And he was like, just be there. I was like, I don't even know what that means. He was like, just be there. He was like, you're going to get half the gigs that you want to get by just being there. And I was like, I don't know what that means. So I just started to show up to everything. And I would play sometimes. I wouldn't. I just show up just so people saw my face. And I met so many people along the way. It's just getting there, making connections, doing what you want to do. Like, get out and make it happen, really.
Yeah,
so
that's what's up. So how'd you get connected with Sam? You're a part of Sam Hunt Music. You guys have been together for over 10 years now. How do you two meet?
That's a part of the earlier point I was making. The first time I saw him play, do you know what a round is? So basically,
educate me and the fans.
So basically, you've probably seen it if you watch Nashville. You can show up to a place which used to be Douglas Corner on 8th, but there's places around town like cafes where writers would get up on a stage, and 3 writers or 4 writers or whatever, and they'll take turns playing the songs that they've written.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like Whiskey Jam? What's Whiskey Jam?
Whiskey Jam is different.
Okay.
So Whiskey Jam, you're invited.
Okay.
And that's kind of
you're like a step up. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you've been doing it for a while, and like you have actual entertainment value.
Okay.
But this is kind of cutting your chops kind of thing. And so I played the round before him, And when he played, I was like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like, what? And I don't think the room really like took notice, but I was like, wait, what just happened here? It was just a thing. So I was like, hey man, I love what you play, blah, blah, that's what you do. Like, I love your songs, blah. He was like, yeah, man, I like what you did too, you know? So we just kind of became friends. And then I think we moved in together like a year and a half after, maybe. And then we lived together for like 8 years after that. Just all the way up till, what, 2017?
Yeah, I guess when you're roommates with somebody, you're either going to be really close or you're going to go your separate ways
Yeah,
at some point.
yeah. And we're pretty easygoing guys. Like, I don't get routed up about much. You know,
Yeah, he seemed chill when I met him.
Yeah. So it was easy to just kind of go out and work and do our thing, you know?
Yeah, that's what's up. So the process, you talked about substitute teaching, which I think is crazy because you see yourself now, you don't have to substitute teach. You know, you're traveling across the world, playing and doing what you love when you took a risk and a chance on yourself. What has that process been like? Because a lot of people will only try to focus on the end goal, and then they may not see it on that journey. The end goal may be way down here, and it's hard for them to take a step by step by step. What was your process as far as, man, waking up every day and you may not know and you may not see that result right then, and just keep putting one foot in front of the other?
You know something? I don't know how many people I've told this. Well, actually, I've told a lot of people in person, but not in a public forum. But we actually had our goals written down on our wall in the house. At the time, it was me, Sam, and John, who's the tour manager, and Sam's brother, Van. We had our goals up, what we wanted to do, how we wanted to do it, who we wanted to be as people. And whenever people ask me, how did you do it? I say, man, it was God. Like, it was absolutely God. Like, I asked him for what I wanted, and I just pushed to it. But everything that was written down happened in the time that it was going to happen. And I realized at that point that if you're very intentional about who you want to be and what you want to do, God / universe, whatever you believe in, will collectively push you towards what you want to be. Like, so it got to be a point where the ball started rolling and things were just happening. And I just kind of was, I mean, you asked me how did I do it or take it, I was kind of being like pushed over by a lot of stuff. What did the Bible say? I'm going to give you enough that you don't have room to receive it. That's kind of how it was happening. We're just being hit. And all of a sudden we were doing everything and it kind of shot off like a rocket, you know? But I tell people all the time, like, outside of the work, which is very intentional, you want to write it down and you want to say it every day. You want to make sure that I believe in God, but you want to make sure that the powers that be know where you're going. And that way they can actually give you things. You know, like if you're just kind of just out there waving through the sea, like God's like, all right, well then we're going to see where you end up. You didn't ask me for anything and you don't know what you want, so just kind of go for it. But when he knows, he's so excited to get in there and go like, all right, how about this? How about that? And he sees you working. So I don't feel like it's that big of an undertaking if you have that belief system in there that like, hey, if I do everything that I can on my end, I know that God on his end will do everything he can. And then that's a very easy. You know,
I'm a big believer in faith without works is dead.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite sayings in scriptures or quotes or whatever you want to call it. But just knowing that you already have to start with belief in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you.
No.
So that's just off the cuff. So believing in yourself, but understanding, you know, I believe in God as well. Whether my viewers do or don't, I feel like there's always room to learn from people, just in general. But I believe in when you set a goal, you can't just sit there and just pray or hope it happens. And this is friends that are Christians, friends that aren't Christians. You have to put in the work and understanding. You talked about the timing. It happened when it was supposed to happen. Not necessarily your timing, because I'm sure you want to be a hit as soon as you move to the city.
Yeah.
You know, it takes that time, but understanding you have to put goals up, see them, what's the term, manifest them, and really aim for them. I feel like a lot of people in today's society, that's the biggest thing I like about my show and my podcast is you can get a lot of motivation, a lot of tidbits here and there, but everybody, no matter if you are an artist that's super well known around the country, whether you do sports, whether you are a librarian, anything like that, everybody has goals. Everybody has a journey and a route that they're going on, but you have to put in the work. And so I think that's the most rewarding and biggest thing from it.
Yeah, make a move every day. Make a move every day. Now, you might not I should keep burping here. You might not
It's
get
that coffee hot chocolate.
bubbly. You might not get everything you want to get in that day, but do something every single day. Because at the end of the week, you'll see the progress, like right at the end of the month, you'll see the progress. But I think the only obstacle is stopping. I think that's the only real obstacle, I just think people underestimate the power of action. And I wish they wouldn't, but again, I'll say it again, that even making that first step, you've beaten 85% of people. So
you've taken many steps thus far throughout your career. What would you say is the most rewarding part and the hardest part of the career you're in?
Well, the rewarding part, that's easy. I talk to the guys about this fairly often, and they obviously feel the same way. But I go like, it's cool that what we do, people look forward to, right? So my job is to make sure that you have a good time, right? Like if you've marked us off on your calendar, whether that's next week or a month down the road, and you've looked forward to it, I think it's cool that we're your date night, like we're your joy on a Friday night, like we're the anticipated thing. And so what's rewarding is that I know that you got what you were waiting for, what you paid for, like what you showed up for. And I think that's really, 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 really cool to be a part of that on this side of the curtain. The hardest part of it, gosh, I don't know how much I find in it that I don't really like. You miss things, so you might miss a birthday or a wedding, I've missed several weddings. That's probably the hardest part, but things like that, those big moments, like you I hate to say it, but like you get to see people. Like if I didn't see you on your birthday, I can see you next week or the week before. Like I might have missed the day, but I kind of, at least that's what I tell myself. So probably the hardest part is missing things, but the most rewarding thing is just being able to see people have fun and be joyous. Like putting joy out into the world as a ripple is a cool feeling. Like I know that like if you believe in like butterfly effect, reactions, if I made you feel joyful, then at least your next interaction with somebody else is going to be joyful. Yeah. And it's not, like things just kind of stack up, man. Like if I piss you off here, your next interview, you might take that over into that. Yeah. But if your joy is here, then you come in like, hey, what's going on? So what's up? I like giving people joy.
Yeah. Those people at the concert were very joyous. Some a little too much. Man, that concert was something.
Where was it? Which one did you go
Gulf
to?
Shores.
Okay.
It was at the wharf, something like that. I don't know, but y'all was on stage, and then all of a sudden, Sam was in the crowd. Man, those girls falling out. I was like, okay, this is a lot. And, Devin, he was
Devin losing his mind.
1 or 2 or 7 in. So he was having a good time too.
And he's not small, so
no, Devin's
you see him having a good time.
See, that's the thing though. I don't usually feel small around people. Like, I'm 6'2". I'm like, okay, I'm a fairly tall guy. But when I was with you guys, man, I was like, bro, I feel so short in here. You, well, like 6'6"?
No, 6'4".
You 6'4"? Sam like 6'5". Devin's like
6'3". Devin's like what, 6'7"? 6'7".
He's up there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, I feel short around here. Sam had on them boots though, so he was like way taller.
He had a little more.
Yeah, I was like, man, I didn't know you were this tall. But no, that was fun though. But I can see what you say, like that rush, that adrenaline you get from playing in the crowd. Then you had like a solo up there too.
Yeah.
That was turn.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
On traveling on tour, this could be you, this could be really anybody. How do people keep their like voice together?
Oh, that's an education.
Yeah.
So, you realize that like every part of your body works in the same way as it pertains to your age, right? So you're 23. Like when I was 23, I get up, I go play basketball. I wouldn't stretch. I don't need to. Yeah. I'm probably still loose from yesterday. Like go work out, like, lift weights, go play basketball, go home, do the whole thing. Then I turned 28. I was like, ooh, that's tough. Like,
yeah.
I need to at least stretch before I play, like at least a little bit of warm up. Let me do like a little elliptical or something. And then you get to 33, you're like, So every part of your body works that way.
Yeah.
Like, so I realize now I have to like loosen up my fingers and warm them up, do some scales, you know, kind of get the muscles flowing. But in terms of voice, like, yeah, you just can't, like we used to be able to play a show, go out and do whatever, come back and we wouldn't have a voice. But by noon or 3 p.m. the next day, we get it back.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh no, if you make that decision, your voice is gone. So now it's a thing of like, we warm up before shows, warm down after shows. Definitely decrease the alcohol by a lot. I personally stopped smoking just because like that's just on my vocal cords. Now there are some people I know that can smoke and sing and they sound amazing.
Yeah, I seen Chris Brown say he does that, but he takes
I saw that.
Yeah.
That ain't me. That dude's special. But yeah, so I had to cut down on those kind of things and like make sure I'm hydrated. So, but yeah, I mean, it just kind of changes itself as you get older. I'm realizing like, oh, I can't do what I used to.
Yeah. Who's the most athletic in the group?
Sam.
Sam?
Yeah.
He did play quarterback. He was.
Well, he's kind of actually. He is the most athletic, but Burke's athleticism is surprising.
I couldn't.
Actually,
you know what? I don't put anything against Burke. Burke is that guy.
Burke is that guy, man. We were in Alaska last year, and me and Burke hiked every single day. Like we're doing like these 8-mile hikes. It was me, him, and a friend of ours who runs Arete. And Burke was leaving me.
Dang.
Daily, and I'm talking about like 8 miles uphill. And just like smoking a cigarette, just going at it. Like,
dang.
So actually, realistically it's Sam, but Burke is like right there.
Hey,
surprisingly.
We gotta get a race set up just to see. I want to see that. I saw, I guess it may have been a while ago, but y'all were playing basketball at the Y and y'all's security guard rolled his ankle or something. I was like, dang. Oh, you remember when that,
Ron, yeah.
When we were leaving the concert, we were backstage, we were about to go back to the thing, that guy had passed out.
I forgot about that.
That was crazy.
I forgot about that.
You ever know what happened to him?
Yeah, they came and got him.
Okay.
And like
he didn't die.
He
was good.
He actually woke up in about maybe 5 or 10 minutes later. But I always forget, like between Gulf Shores, and then we did another one, I believe in Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken.
Somewhere.
Nope, sorry, Mississippi. That and the 2 Texas shows, the hottest shows I've ever played. That was why I got passed out. Like,
okay, I have, as an athlete, you sweat often. And then when you're in non-athletic settings, you don't want to sweat at all.
Yeah.
I felt like I had just competed. It was so hot out there.
Remember that picture I had with like just all drenched here?
In the post-edit, we will cue the picture of us after the show. You were definitely drenched.
Oh, man. So our machines, kind of like these, we have a bunch of our show that's run on like computers or whatnot. And they were having to take dry ice and put a fan behind it and blow it on the computers just so they didn't break down.
I was wondering if y'all had fans or something up there, like when y'all were going, because man, it was so hot.
Yeah, but like fans are, you're just blowing hot air. You're already in the steam room.
Yeah.
You know?
I felt bad for the people when I went to concessions, they were in like these food trucks. This lady, I was like, please don't sweat on my fries. She was going crazy. Man, we had
makeup sweat on my fries?
Yeah.
That seasoning?
Dude, it's some characters out there at the shows. Me and Devin were sitting where y'all had to sit like in the middle. We had one lady, she had to be in her 50s, maybe. She's
going crazy?
I think she had too many in that heat. She got halfway into Brett Young, and she was everywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh. Then we had these mamas. And I don't know what it is with mamas and alcohol in the South. They just love brothers, though, because Devin was,
he'll play into it.
Yeah, he was playing into it.
Yeah.
This one lady was like talking. She's like, y'all want anything? You want drinks? And I was like, nah. Then Devin was like, yeah, I do. And so I was like, I don't want to drink. I was like, y'all got any water, though? So they came back with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, man, it's people, so the cool thing about our shows that I noticed this year is that, like, the world can be really, really just divided and divisive within itself, within its own work and inner workings. But it's cool that, like, people just come out and just jam with us. Not to assume these people were on either side, but it's cool to see somebody that is in the LGBTQ community you know, and they're like going crazy, like, and then you see this other person over here who's like just like heavy, like, you know, heavy Southern, like, you know, Southern pride, and you just go like, and I don't assume they wouldn't be on the same side, but to see like them having fun and not thinking about everything that they could be fighting for or thinking about, like that's really, really cool. You know, like let's just take 2 hours and have a good time. Right? Like we like the songs, we like the vibe, we like the energy. Let's just live in it. And it's cool to just give people like a reason to be joyous and not, you know, be so combative.
That's a good point you made though, because that's what music does. You
Yeah.
know, it
That's
gives you
what
that,
you hope it does.
Yeah, that's what you hope it does.
Depending on your message, you know.
I feel like you guys have done well in spreading a good message, because we were telling Sam afterwards, like when y'all dropped Montevallo, we were younger and we lived 10 minutes from Montevallo, so everybody was already more inclined to listen to that.
Listen to it, yeah.
And I'm like, man, I was not a fan of country music really at all. I'm starting to learn more. I like you guys and I like Morgan Wallen. And my cousins in Chicago get on me because I like playing that a lot. And they're like, man, I'm like, gosh, just listen to the word, listen to the music. And so coming from where you're listening to this song, something like House Party, man, I can't say how many times I heard House Party growing up, and then actually seeing it live in concert, knowing every word and not realizing I already knew every word.
Knew every word?
Yeah, I was like, man, that's what's up. But that's what music does. And like you said, you started since you were young. Your mom graduated from Michigan State, being a music major, singing in the house, that's already filling you up. Who are some other influences, musical inspirations that you look to, you know, growing up?
Oh man, I'm very eclectic musically. Like I probably have a playlist going with every friend I have. Just like, just send me what you like, I'll send you what I like, and we'll kind of go back and forth and trade. So my influences came from everywhere. Like originally it was mostly gospel. So, you know, you had Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, you know, you had John P. Key. And then getting a little older, I was allowed to at least sing Michael Jackson around the house. Couldn't listen to him, but at least like he was part of like the clean music. Then it kind of stretched into Motown, like, you know, Diana Ross, The Temptations. And then I got into this really big pop phase when I was in high school. That I was like, because I was in high school and I was like Britney, Justin, Backstreet. Anyway, I took inspiration from all of those people. And then when I picked up guitar is when I like really started to jump into John Mayer. And I folded back from him, went to Stevie Ray, folded back from him, went to Jimi Hendrix. And then like kind of even around that, B.B. King. So everything I listen to is probably somehow in my musical,
If you had a top 3 artists, male or female, who would it be?
Michael Jackson, Prince. For me personally, that third one has to be Kanye.
Kanye?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I think those are my top 3, like, generational artists,
I think I'm kind of biased in a way, but my top 3 are Michael Jackson, Lil Wayne, and John Legend.
How are you biased?
Like, biased in, like, I don't feel like John Legend is better than Drake overall. I just like John Legend's, like, vibe a little bit better.
Listen, let me tell you, do you know who Sade is?
Yeah.
I saw John Legend open up for Sade in Nashville, maybe, I don't know, oh wow, it's got to be 9-10 years ago now, at least. That dude didn't miss a note. I've heard a lot of singers sing, and I've heard a lot of people do he didn't miss a note the entire concert. And it was flawless the way he's playing and singing over it. I was like, good. That's kind of when I realized that, like, oh, that level of it is a different thing.
Yeah.
So wait, if we were touring already, then it had to be like 12, 13 years ago. That level is a different way of doing things. Like, that is like, I'm not saying that he's like the Michael Jordan or Kobe, but like in terms of like how efficient they are in their respective fields, that's what that was.
Yeah.
Anyway, so John Legend it's a good call.
Yeah, those are my top 3.
Yeah.
But you do more than music. You have some entrepreneurial routes. Talk about your candle business, 27.9. What inspired that, and what made you get into that out of all the other things you could do?
Of all the other things, yeah. I've always loved fragrance, things that smell good, which I don't think I'm unique in that. I think the level at which I liked it makes me unique. You know, like I was a guy, my dad had a bunch of colognes in the top of the closet. So I would go in there before high school and just put one on. And
Yeah, you gotta get right.
Yeah, the only guy wearing cologne in high school, at least at that point. And so I've always loved things that smell good, which makes me very adverse to things that smell terrible. And so we were playing a bunch of shows early up where you play like those small rooms, like, you know, like just the rock clubs, you know. And the green room smell just like 2 years of partying, you know, like the beer's still in the corner, like the cigarette butts are still there. And so I started buying candles, just like little Walmart candles, just to take to every single room. And it was us and Chase Rice, and Chase Rice really loves candles. So I kind of like connected with him on that, or strangely. So every show I'd have a candle in there. And then I started to just buy a bunch of them. And as I started to buy them, I started to get more bougie in my taste. So level up. So you start at Walmart, and then you go from Walmart to Bed Bath & Beyond, Bed Bath & Beyond to Yankee above that to like your higher end candles. And so Chris, who you haven't met yet.
Your brother.
Yeah. He bought me a candle making kit for Christmas. And I made one, and it was terrible. And I'm too competitive for that. So I had to make another one. That one was terrible too, but it eventually got better.
Out of 10, what would you rate those first 2 candles?
Ooh, is negative on the scale? No, it was bad. I got one that I called, the first one I ever made, I called Grandma Sundays. Because
man.
You ever had your grandma or a grandma hug you at church?
Yeah.
And that perfume was on your neck forever and just like awful?
Yeah.
So that would be the first candle I ever made. But anyway, it just grew from there. It was kind of a natural transition. It allowed me to be creative. Like it not only allowed me to diversify my monetary income, but like diversify my creative ventures. You know, like I just love the idea of creating that brand and creating a fragrance and crafting it out of what I see around the world that inspires me.
Yeah.
We are now doing colognes.
Okay.
Colognes and perfumes, which we're looking to drop at the end of this year. So that's been really, really fun because that was a dream that I didn't know that I had.
Yeah.
It was a dream that kind of came through a dream, but, a dream within a dream.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just one of the things that I've always liked. Never knew that I would love doing it. So yeah, it was kind of an easy transition just looking at who I am as a person and what I've always liked. But yeah.
How'd you get the name 279?
So I looked up several companies, and I think I looked up Byredo, Sephora. And Sephora is the combination of Zephora which was Moses' wife in the Bible. And she was known for being very, very beautiful. And I think Sephora is Italian or Greek that also says beautiful. So they mixed them and it just called it Sephora. And I was like, that's cool to have a name with meaning. And like whenever people say the name, they're saying something about your company and maybe they don't know it. Like, so Sephora means beauty, you know? So to say that, again, it's one of those things where if you say it, you put it in the universe. So I wanted people to do that too.
Yeah.
So 27.9 is Proverb 27.9, oil and perfume make the heart glad. And basically what that means for me is that whenever people say the name of my company, they're saying that what our perfumes and colognes do, they make people joyous. And so I love that.
I like that meaning.
Yeah.
Even when they don't know they're putting it out there, they're putting it out there.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it was for me, just having people just speak life into your company. So
I like that.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, a little sneaky, but you know.
Yeah. So do you mostly, when you're getting the revenue or seeing where you guys have a breakdown, are you mostly selling to people or like businesses or?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I really concentrated, to be honest with you, in the past more on selling to businesses, just because I thought that was the quickest way to get brand recognition. Is that like, hey, I don't have the ability to tell you to your face, but if you come across it in, you know, a hotel, like we're in the Joseph in Nashville, we did their scent, we did the scent for Hotel Ivy in Minneapolis, Anguilla Golf Resort, we did there. So coming across the product in that respect, I thought was cooler than like saying it and just telling people, being with my head with it. So we were really going towards businesses like, hey, this is what we offer. We would love to scent your business and, you know, people started to say yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question? I lost the question.
That's really what I was trying to figure out, if you were selling it to direct people
Oh yeah,
or
sorry.
companies.
So yeah, we were selling it just to businesses, but now moving forward, I'm going to try to flip it. I'm going to flip it and sell to people, and figure that out. It allows me to kind of like, you know, streamline the process and what I'm selling, and I can really focus on like these 7 or 8 cents. And so we're going to push towards people here in next year.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So the show is called Stuck in My Thoughts, and every time I have a guest, I always ask them, what do you get stuck in your thoughts about? Because everybody thinks about something. Like for me, usually right now is my career coming up. I often get stuck in my thoughts about, what am I gonna do next, or how is this gonna work, or how do I navigate this and this? What do you get stuck in your thoughts about?
All right. When I walk outside at night and I look up, I think like, goodness, I don't think people really know what they're looking at when they look up. Like, I don't think people really grasp what we're actually seeing. You know, I think our fastest spacecraft, I think it's like, if I'm not mistaken, it's over 300,000 miles per hour that we have our fastest spacecraft.
Oh, Jesus.
And we can't get to the closest star to us within 4 lifetimes going at that speed. Which means that, like, when you see a star, you couldn't get to the next one.
Yeah, that's insane.
Within 4 lifetimes going over 300,000 miles an hour. And I'm like, we are looking at immense space, immense time. That's what I get stuck about, because I just, I hope one day, you know, like, we get to see, like, and
Would
figure
you
out,
go to
like,
Mars?
Would I?
Yeah, if they offered it, because I think they're trying to do that.
No.
You wouldn't go to Mars?
No.
Would you go to outer space in general?
Yes, absolutely. But it will be sometime around the time that I would also skydive, right?
Oh,
like,
no.
like when I have less years at risk, absolutely.
Would you rather go to outer space or skydive?
Outer space, for sure.
Outer space for
If
you?
I could see the planet from a distance, yeah, absolutely. Skydiving, that's, I don't know, man.
People, let us know what y'all would rather do.
Yeah.
Go to outer space or skydive.
Yeah, for sure. But I get stuck in my thoughts about space.
I would go to outer space. I'm not jumping out no plane. Keep me inside. Keep me incubated.
I have no desire to jump out of something that is meant to keep me up.
Yeah.
Like,
So we've talked about so much, just your journey, starting from Detroit all the way up to Nashville. You're 38, 39?
40.
40. Oh, the big 4-0. I tried to bring you down a little bit.
listen, I almost let you do it. But
Yeah. What's the goal? What do you see yourself like? What's the main goal in this career that, you know, started from you just taking a chance on yourself, picking up a guitar? What's the main goal in the end?
Well, the main goal in the end, in terms of that path in life, is to keep doing what we're doing. I hope that we can keep making people happy, keep bringing them joy on the weekends, and that's keeping the show fresh, keeping the songs fresh. In terms of that goal, like, that's a pretty consistent thing for me there. Like if we don't meet that mark, then I feel like I failed. But in terms of like my other ventures, 2079, I am now building a fragrance brand.
Okay.
So not my original name for the company was Golden Candle Co. And I realized that kind of pigeonholed me into just doing candles. But I really want to be a fragrance company. That's body oils, body sprays, soaps, shampoos, obviously colognes, perfumes, and candles. So my goal there is to get that as big as I can. And that's really where a lot of my energy has gone here lately. It's making sure that the brand makes sense, make sure that the wording, the presentation makes sense, and that people connect to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so those are 2 separate goals. But
Yeah.
you know,
Seems like the overarching theme is connecting people together, and that's what I want to do on this show. And I appreciate you sitting down and
Yes, sir.
chopping it up and
Yeah.
giving a chance for the audience and the viewers to get a little bit know more about you, because they see you on stage and see you from afar on social media, but it's rare people get to sit down and just hear you speak and hear your life and what you got going on.
Yeah, it's definitely a special thing, especially getting to see you do it. I mean, you hit me up randomly, and I was like, sure, we're cousins, fine. I didn't even question it. I was just like, yeah, that's my cousin. Like, he's down there. But then to see you kind of come through with your track career and now moving into the podcast space and like being just an on-screen entertainer. And also, I love your grind, man.
Appreciate it.
I saw something where, was it ESPN, where you just DM'd everybody that was on the show?
Yeah.
I don't think people really take in how ballsy that is.
Yeah.
It's a small thing. Like, you probably think a small thing. I just like looked them up and said, hey, what can I come through? But to take that initiative is huge. Never forget that. I'll say this and we can kind of end it here. I was talking to somebody now. I don't remember who it was. And they were talking about, building their business and how they would do it, whatever. And I was like, you know what? I kind of forget all the time is how ballsy I was at 24, how ballsy I was at 23. Like, if you were in a band that was bigger than mine, or you were an artist, I would stop on the street and play you my song. Now that would mortify me. Like, right? Like, I got a song to play, and I'm gonna stop you on the street right now. You're gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
But keep that, man. Like just keep pushing that, and that'll get you a lot farther than anybody else who's just scared to move or just scared to reach out. Like, just keep using those influences and keep being an influence, but keep like pushing those boundaries of like, I don't care if I step on you, I'm here.
Yeah, my dad always says, closed mouths don't eat, and the worst people can say is no. He started that saying, worst thing people can say is no with girls. So I just use that in every other facet.
It's true.
It is.
The worst they can say is no, and also everybody's not going to say no.
Yeah.
Statistically, everybody's not going to say no.
And the people that have said yes, it has really brought out so many opportunities that I would have never imagined. Like, that's really why I came to Nashville, because I'm shadowing for the Music City Bowl.
Okay.
Down here. And so, yeah, man, closed mouths don't eat.
You have not because you ask not.
That's a word. We're going to end it on that. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We're back. Season 3 is up and running. Stuck in My Thoughts. We out of here.